Good morning, everybody. This morning I want to show you what I've come up with my prompt along plan. My prompt along plan. I have made up the prompts. I have them in here, and this is two of them that I've done. One of them was rough. One of the prompts was ruffled fabric, a flower, a hexagon, applique a square, a yo-yo, lace, a button, couching yarn, rick-rack, something vintage. And so that was one of them I did. Then this one, because the thing, okay, then this one here was an animal, something vintage. This was something with texture. This was a word. Oh, where did I put them words? In case I get another word. Couching on yarn, lace, ruffled fabric, rick-rack, buttons, something fluffy or something fuzzy, something like that. And then my initial, an L. And actually I found this to be fun. Even just to do it on my own is fun. And but what I decided, I first was making them just without a backing fabric. This one I did without a back, and then add the backing later. Then I thought, no, I'm going to add the backing fabric and do it. And so that's what I did. But what I'm doing though is I pick a piece of fabric. This is flannel, but you don't have to use flannel. You can use just anything. Just a scrap piece of 12 by 12. I'm using 12 by 12. You might want to use a 10 by 10, 8 by 8, small. You can do something small too. And but I'm doing my squares all 12 by 12. And on this particular project I'm doing anyway. And so I don't know how long this here video will last because I didn't time myself as how long I actually worked on that last square. And so, but I decided I'm going to start with a piece already in the center or somewhere on your piece. I could do it over here. It doesn't have to be in the center. But anyway, I have all of my cards. I have a dice. The dice is because if I pick a card that adds scraps, this is how many scraps. However, I roll the dice. And so, but I have, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put under the, you'll be able to see underneath in the description box, I'm going to put a list of all the things that I have listed on these. I had a bunch of things already listed, and then I had ladies that offered ideas of different things too, so I put them in here as well. So if you have an idea of something that can be listed, by all means, put it in the descriptions. And put it in the comments below, and I'm going to add it. And so what I'm going to do is the way I'm going to do this now is I'm going to pick a card. Let's see. And the first card I pick is something with texture. So, like on my last one, my something was with texture turned out to be a little bit of a doily. Or if you have like a button with texture on it, anything with texture, anything that is not smooth. Okay, I made everything easily accessible here, and now I'm looking for stuff. Okay, so I'm going to look in here for something with texture, because I have some, oh, this has texture. Look at this, beautiful. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Okay, that's texture. So, that's what I'm going to use for something with texture. Something lid. Okay, So something with texture, and I can put that right over the background, and that'll work fine right there. That would even work as a beginning one, but I do the beginning one because if I put a button, well then I would want to put it on some fabric already done, and so yeah, something with texture. That was my first one. So let me see if I can do this without a whole lot of running my mouth. And I'm going to start this machine up, and I'm going to go, okay, and I'm just going to kind of get this I'm just going to get that stitched on there. It's just so it's there, it knows where it's supposed to live. It's not completely stitched down because I will be most likely stitching other things on top of it. Okay, so now I have my my first piece that I just started with, and then I have something with texture because this is all like embroidered on me. That is pretty, but I've only got it just on there like this. It's just there. So, because I'm gonna pick another, and it says, oh, it says needle and thread. So, needle and thread. So I have this here. I got yesterday in the mail. And it was the oddest thing too. Oh, there's my words. I got an envelope here from Jamie Ventura, the trucker Jamie, and just a little bitty envelope. Look at that, just a little bitty envelope, and in it she sent in the envelope threaders, and she said, I wanted to send you a couple of needle threaders with love, Trucker Janie. And so here's one of them. The other one is right here. Right here. And then what I did, because I do get these, but then I lose them. Now, see, I have this one, but this one has got big hooks on it. This one that Trucker Jamie sent me has got a tiniest little hook on there for threading needles. And because I lose things, then I have this little heart that was sent to me by Cordula. I says, I stitched that that threader right to it, and I stitched my other one to it as well. But at the time this came, I was hunting my needle threader. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find a needle threader. And I wanted to thread a small needle. I need to get me some thread. Let me get some thread here. Okay, we'll just take this one. And at the time, I could not believe. Well, I had the needle, but this, I like to use a small needle. I like to use a small needle when I'm doing a lot of hand stitching, not all my hand stitching. But these threaders, this threader that I have, that won't go through a small needle. This one, I was so, just at the moment I was looking, then she sent it. Then it come in the mail. I could not believe that. I'm talking, is it a coincidence? Is it my angel spirit sending me things? Yeah. She's my angel spirit. She knew the moment I would need this. So now, and then I stitch them onto this heart, so I'll have them like from now till forever, and it's going to be harder to lose. I'm not going to say I won't lose it, but it's going to be harder to lose. And so my arthritic hands are just trying to give me a hard time, but I'm not going to let them. Okay, so needle and thread. Now when it says use a needle and thread, you can do anything with a needle and thread. Okay, so I'm going to take the needle and thread, and there we go. So it said use the needle and thread, so I'm going to. And so what would you do with a needle and thread? You can do anything with a needle and thread. So I think what I want to do is I think I want to, let me see, did I put that little bag of buttons in here? Yes, I did. Okay. So with a needle and thread, you can do just near about anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these here buttons, and I'm going to put it right there in the middle of this. So that's what I'm going to do with this needle and thread. And so we'll sew that on there. See, I want to do this in a live stream where anybody who wants to can work with me. And it's fun. I'm telling you, I just have to say it's fun. And so okay. Let's see. I don't want to, in a live stream, I guess I could let it, then most live streams last, hour and a half, 2 hours. Mine are usually about hour and a half. And so, but just standalone movies, videos, I don't really like them to last too long. Oh, and then another thing with my little heart here, now I'm using this needle, so I can just put that needle right in that heart there and put that right off to the side, and it's right there in good shape. So now I'm going to put another card. What does this one says? Add a bead. Oh gosh, a bead, a bead, a bead. Where do I want to add a bead? Good thing I have my needle threaded. And I got some beads right here. And see, I went and got everything that's on my list. Everything that's on my list, I have here. I have like a little tote bag and stuff. Now, where would I want to put a bead? Let me see. Some of these prompts I have in more than once. Like the add a button, I have more than once. Maybe I should have a add a bead more than once. And so I'm going to just add a bead, and who knows, maybe I'd want to put 2 beads. Well, you can do that. You can certainly add 2 beads if you want 2 beads. I'm just going to put 1 bead though for right now. Now, if I was just doing this on my own, maybe I'd add 2 or 3 beads, and then I could take like breaks and stuff. If I wasn't doing it on the video. And so then there I have added a bead. And I need to be adding more fabric, so hopefully that comes through. That comes through in the cards in a minute. Okay, so put the needle back in there. I am a needle loser, I'm telling you so. Having that right there is amazing. Okay, so now I put that bead in the middle of that flower right there. So that's kind of cute. I could put one in the middle of that one too. But let me just dig down here, and it says, oh, embroidery floss or thread. We just did thread. We want some embroidery floss. So now I'm going to, I got embroidery floss right down here. And so, so I'm going to need a larger needle for my floss. And so I'll get my larger thread. Oh, here I got some embroidery floss on this. And you know what I think, just to be quick, I was going to go maybe embroider all the way around this flower with this thread. But since this is already on the needle and I'm trying to kind of go a little bit quickly, I'm going to just take this one, and where I put a bead in the middle of this one, this flower, I'm going to go here and make a French knot in the center of the other one. And some of these things, like while I'm, and there's another little flower, I'll put a French knot there too, I got enough thread. Some of these things too that I have on the cards, like I have one of them, the card says add a hexagon. Well, I'll show you how I make my hexagons at that time. Okay, so there, now I used my embroidery floss. And I'll just tie that off under there. And this is, you know, like last night I just listened to music and I worked on them too. So now I have my two little French knots right there where I used my embroidery floss. Now I'm going to put this needle in here too, just in case I need that again. Why don't you want to go through that fabric needle? Okay, there. Now, another card. We'll pick this one. Roll the dice. Okay, good. That's going to tell me how many pieces more of fabric that I'm going to add. So then, let's see. 4. Okay, so I'm going to put 4 pieces of fabric. So now I can start building onto this. So I have some pieces that are already, I got a lot of pieces that are already pieced together of fabric, and it says 4. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to find a piece here that is already 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4 pieces right on here already. So I think I'm going to take this piece of fabric and I'm going to just add that because it's already, now I could take just 4 separate pieces and add them on there. And but for right now, I'm going to do it just this way because I have these fabrics already together. So that'll shorten my time too. And so I'm going to just, the way I'm going to do this now is I'll sort of like applique it on. I'm going to just go around with my zigzag stitch, and I'm going to just zigzag all the way around the edge of that fabric. And where it stops, anybody knows. It's not even a evenly cut piece, and that doesn't matter at all because, and I don't look for colors that match. You might do that on yours. You might look for colors that match. I'm going to put my beads back on after my shower. I feel naked without my beads. leaning, safe and secure from all alarms, leaning, leaning. Okay, there we go. See, so now it's growing. Now it's growing. See, I have more space to work now here because I've got another piece. So I'm ready to pull another card. And the next card says an ugly scrap. Okay, so then I'm going to look into my scraps. Well, for me, I don't think there's any fabric that's ugly. And so, but that was on the list that somebody put in. Somebody put in ugly scrap, and so I figure, okay, I'm going to write that down. Oh, these aren't supposed to be in here. Those are supposed to be somewhere else. Okay, let's just, well, how about this green John Deere fabric? It's not ugly, but it's, you know, I'm going to put that there anyway. So, let me see. I think, now see how I didn't have this textured piece stitched all the way down. So I can actually tuck this piece of fabric underneath that so I don't have to. Now I'll stitch that down, see? And I'm going to, and so I will stitch that down. And I can stitch it all the way, or I could just even just kind of get it started there. But I'm going to stitch two sides. And I'm just stitching with this zigzag stitch for right now. And so, and I have it there where it's going to live, but I can still add more to it because see, I got space between there. And so, there. Now I'm ready to pick another card. A blue scrap. Okay, good. I'm getting a lot of scraps in here. So I'm going to dig here. That's blue. It's kind of blue. Ooh, look at this one. This is blue. Ooh, I think I want this. This is blue stars. I wonder if I want to put that in the corner here. Yeah, I do, but I don't need it that long. So I'm going to cut that right here, and that one is going to go right there in this corner. To the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. Okay, so I'm going to put that on there. Now see, if you know you're going along with me and when we do this in the live stream, then, or even if you go along in a replay, you know, in a replay you can do that too, because then you can pause the video until you, oh, so I probably will be doing some of these in just a standalone video, because then you can pause if you pull a card that that you don't have the product right in front of you. You can pause it. I've done that in videos on the prompt alongs with oh, I can go ahead and stitch that too. In the prompt alongs that I do with paper, you know, with go ahead and stitch this too. You know, when I do mixed media prompts, then I'll watch them in, you know, if they're doing them in live, then I watch them later, and that way I can pause, and I can pause it and then go, you know, and go take a lunch break or something and then come back. But anyhow, now I'm going to, hi Papa, what's up?
I just come to give you a smooch.
You come to give me a smooch, you little flirt. My hamster is about the biggest flirt ever. Okay, I love you, darling. Now what do we have? Add a yo-yo. Okay, my yo-yos are down here in this drawer, which I can't reach, but I have my reacher thing. This is the most handiest thing ever. And I'm going to reach down in this drawer, and I'm going to pick a yo-yo. Look at this yo-yo. I made some fancy ones. Let's see. I got some fancy ones and some that are not fancy. And let's see. I guess I don't need to be real persnickety. But I just have made yo-yos. And look at that one. That one's kind of thick, so I'm not going to use that one. Okay, I'm going to use this one. It's just nice bright color. And that's what I'll use. That's going to be my yo-yo. And so where will I put the yo-yo? I think, ooh, I'm going to put that right there. See, I got that little space right there already. And so that'd be a fun place to put the yo-yo. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I'll need my needle and thread. Now, also, then there's fabric glue, and you might want to use fabric glue to glue some of your pieces down. And that's perfectly legal. And so, and then you can take your time and do it fancy, or you can just, you can add a yo-yo just with one stitch in the middle. You could even put a button in there if you want to, because the ideas are like endless. But I'm going to go ahead and stitch it with just a little whip stitch of just regular thread. And I like hand stitching. Slow stitching projects are the best. They are just they're just very calming. And so my house, there's so many changes lately because I had family of 4 that moved in. My son and his family moved in. So where it was just me and Papa forever, and so now there is activity going on in the house all the time. And I want to be out there. See, I'm in my bedroom right now, which me and Papa's bedroom is quite large. So, some bedrooms are small. This one's pretty large. And I have plenty of space for my crafty stuff. I have had to kind of downsize a lot because I had craft supplies all over the house. And I did most of my crafting in the dining room because we didn't use the dining room. Now we use the dining room for a dining room. We eat in the dining room around a table like normal people. Me and Papa didn't do things like normal people before. Yes, we would sit at the dining room every once in a while if there was space, But there wasn't always space because then there's a countertop out there with bar stools. We could eat there too, but I always kept it pretty cluttered with stuff. Well, not cluttered. It was just organized with unorganized stuff. Well, maybe that's the same as cluttered. I don't know. And so, but there's sometimes, though, because I'm not used to a lot of action all the time, that sometimes I just have to come back here into my little cave and then just have some time for myself. And so, and my family understands that completely, that, because I basically said to my son, I said, the house is yours. You just, whatever, just, because they moved in here to be our caregivers, basically, so we're not alone. And so, and that's working out fine. Okay, now I've put my my yo-yo. So now I'm gonna pick another. Let's just dig down in here and get one. Add ruffled scraps. Oh, I like that one. I like the ruffled scraps. So what am I gonna do is I'm gonna take. I like bright colors. I'm gonna take this piece and maybe this piece. But what I'll do with this is I'm going to cut these two pieces, make them more of a narrow strip. And so I got 4 narrow strips. A wad of thread on there. Let's get that wad of thread off there. There we go. And then what I'll do is I'll take these strips to the sewing machine. I love my sewing machine. Ooh, I'm getting kind of slow on bobbin thread there. And then I just put that strip. Now I'm going to turn my speed down on my thread on my machine, and I'm going to get it sewing. I'm going to stuff the fabric. I got it going slow, and then I'm kind of stuffing the fabric, like wrinkling it under the needle as it's going through. And I'll put that next piece. And it's like I'm almost kind of just shoving it. Just if you can see, I should be using like a chopstick or something, but I gotta get one of them back here. Here we go, and then let's go back with that red piece. Just with a real slow stitch on your machine. Just don't get in no hurry. When you're doing something like this, you don't want to get in any hurry. And because, you know, I'm making a bunch of 12 by 12s, and I'm going to make a lap blanket out of it. I call them movie watching blanket. And just because if you're watching a scary movie, especially, you need a blanket to keep the spooks away. Okay, so there I made my ruffled piece. So then, see there, it's just all ruffled. So now I can take that piece and maybe I will see how you can just curve it around. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just curve it around. Or maybe I want it up into this blue. Yeah, I think I do. I want it up into that blue. And so and I can speed her up a little bit. Step on the gas. And there we'll go. Get that on there. I didn't even show you that. I didn't move my machine. Okay, well, see how I did that? I just put it right down here, and I there. So I put that ruffle down here, kind of curved right around. And so it's kind of a mixed media using fabrics and textile, you know, textiles and stuff. Okay, now that was that one. Let's go down here and find one here. Oh, add a button. We want another button. Oh, that's good because I want another button right there in the middle of my yo-yo. So I'm going to pick, these are all dark buttons. Dark. I'll put that right in there. It looks like a black-eyed Susan. Out up yonder, I'll be there. Oh, when the road is called up yonder, when the road. Now this, sometimes I like to sew on my buttons. I'm just going to use this small little piece of embroidery floss. And then I'll just sew it from the top down through one hole. And stay in there, button. Stay where you belong, button. Sometimes you have to talk to your buttons so they don't like try to escape. Who's called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll, up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder. I was telling my husband the other day, I've got another channel accidentally. Somehow I got it. I don't know how I got it on there, but there's not very much on it. So we ought to just get on there and sing our little hearts out on that channel. Okay, see there? Now that's just tied on there. And that's fine. And I'll put my needle back into the little heart. It's going to stay there. Now, oh yes, and now we get to pick another card. Add rickrack. Okay, okay, we can do that. We can add rickrack. And I'm going to have to get more rickrack in my collection here. And let's see. Let's just take a piece about this long. Don't put a whole lot of thought into it. Don't put a whole lot of thought. Just put it wherever. Or do I want to put along here? Yeah, I think I'm just going to go right here. I just want it right there. And so I don't have a lot of space around my sewing machine, so I kind of just slide my sewing machine back and forth. It's one thing about the sewing machines they make these days, they're nice and light, so you can do that. Or this kind anyway. Some of them are embedded in a table or something. You couldn't do that, but there we go. So that's on. Scoot you back. There, now I got my rickrack on there. See how it's becoming colorful and let's reach down here and get this one. Whatever this one says is what we're going to do. Something that was given to you. Oh, okay. Now that was a suggestion in the comments. That's why I like the suggestions in the comments. Okay, so something that was given to me right here. I have Cordula sent me a whole lot of little pieces here that she made, stars and hearts, and they're all like double-sided. I love this. That one isn't double-sided. I'm going to take that and I am going to put that. That was something given to me. So there you go. I'm going to put that right here. Now, because I still have a blank space up here, I'm not going to stitch yet. I'm going to only stitch down here. I'm going to stitch part of this because I might want to add, I know I won't want to mess up the heart. I want to leave that heart as it is. So, and I might want to stick a piece of fabric under here, or I might stick a piece of fabric there. And so what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and just stitch this. there. And I want to stitch it over on this side just so I know where I want that to live. If later on I cross over onto the heart a little bit, it will be okay. Okay, so there, that was something somebody gave to me. It was a good idea. Thank you for that thought, because I've had these little pieces there for a long time. Okay, now I'm going to pull this one. Couch on yarn. Okay, so couch on yarn. So I have right here some yarn. Isn't that pretty yarn? And so I'm just going to pull a piece of yarn, and to couch on the yarn, you could do that by hand, or you could use a machine and do that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my machine, and I think what I'll do is I'm going to put this right here. And so, and I'm just going to couch it around maybe like this. But what I do is I use the zigzag stitch again. And if you use a nice wide, okay, a wide zigzag, and then you just get that started. And that zigzag will do the couching for you. Slow that down a little bit while I go. I slow down when I go around a corner, just like when you're driving, you're supposed to slow down when you go around the corner. Well, you don't have to slow down that much. Okay, there you go. And then I'll just get that. Oops. And it's couching it. It's couching it down. Couching just means that you're sewing something down onto something else. Okay, so now that piece of yarn is all couched down right there. And it puts a nice little, another little something pretty onto your, okay, on my others that I did on my own, I used about 25 cards. Oh, black. And black is fun because if you put in something black, which I do have black in here. Okay, you live there. Oh, here's black right here. Oh, there's black. Okay, so now black is fun because black you can now here's where I was talking. I can tuck something underneath there. Black is fun because you can add different colors on top of the black that later on, and then it really pops with that black background. So here we go with the black. And because I use, my thread is all multicolored, I use the multicolored threads. And they show up really good on the black. I know my bobbin is getting to the nitty gritty. We've already been on here 44 minutes. And so it does take a while. And it's kind of fun with the cards telling you what to do. It's like you don't have to think, you know, you just let the card tell you what to do next on your, now I'm going to stitch the rest of that heart down right there. And so with the cards telling you what to do, then you don't have to say, oh, what will I do next? Because the card will tell you. So there, I got that black in there. Now, let me get another card. Let me dig one out. Lace edging. Lace edging. Okay, so I have a whole tub full of lace here. Of different kind of laces. Okay, and I have all kind of, look at this. It's kind of a ruffled lace edging. That I've got some really pretty lace. Really beautiful. This is like a flowery lace edging. That's pretty. I think I'm going to use a piece of that. So you still have to come up with a few little things on your own. Ooh, this lace edging. Look at this. I can put that right down the center of that black. And look how pretty is that. It's like you have somebody in the background just telling you what to do next. And so here, I'm going to keep going till I'm finished. The video will be kind of long, but of course you can fast forward and that kind of thing just to see how it ends up. I've done that in videos too, if I'm honest, because I try to watch so many. Because I get ideas. Now, I haven't seen this idea, though, is to do the prompt-alongs for fabrics. That I haven't seen yet. I'm not saying there isn't any out there, because there are so many videos out there. And so many different. And see how that happened now? By putting that down the center. For one thing, I'm using my multicolored thread. And then I'm going to pull that piece of thread out. And then the black, and then that little floweries. That's a pretty lace edging, and that worked pretty there. I need a piece of fabric there. Hopefully I get a roll of dice thing here. Oh, we're sewing on another button. See, I have more than one of things. And so we're going to sew on another button. And I love these buttons. These were just sent to me in Aria. And they're all Christmassy buttons. And so the Christmas colors. And since we're all finished with Halloween now we can start our Christmas decorations. Let's put that right there. Let's not give that any thought. Let's just put it right there, and it'll pop. It'll pop right there. Boy, my fingers are just, it's just, I mean, this aging thing is lovely. But I ain't letting it get the better of me. I'm going to continue. I use Bengay. Well, not Bengay. I use it like a generic Bengay. I use it like a hand lotion. It helps a lot. Okay, so now I have my button. And like I say, if you have some ideas yourself to use, then please put them in the comments, because I will add them to the cards. I add them to the cards. Let's try this one that's poking up right here. Add a flower. a flower. Okay, so now back in my drawer down here where I got my yo-yos, I've also got flowers. I've got, let me see. Ooh, look at this flower. And look at that spot where I was just saying that spot needed some fabric right there. Now, and I left that open a little bit right here so I could put part of that flower underneath this heart so it still doesn't lose its heart effect. And then I have that heart, that flower, right there. Let me tell you what's the truth. That is awesome. That is awesome. I like that. And so now I could hand stitch that on. And you know, one day maybe I would do that. But right now I'm kind of in a little bit of a hurry. And so I'm going to, now I'll finish that heart where I didn't stitch it before. And then I'm going to put up here. And since the heart is ruffled, I'm going to just kind of, this is where I need my little stick. And see, you end up going over some of your other things that you've already. Now I just went around that flower, not all the way to the edge, because I still want a little bit of the fluff of the flower. So the flower is on, but see the little edges are still loose, and then that's pretty. That's very pretty. And then now my heart, oh, I don't have this here because I'll need another piece of fabric down there. But see, now if I get another button, I can put it right in the middle of that. But now, let me see, pull up a card, and it says zigzag stitch. Well, I've already done a lot of zigzag stitch, but it does say zigzag stitch, so I am going to go around, and I am going to go with that. See this? Here. I just turned off my sewing machine. Okay, see how there's a line of right around this motif that's on that piece of fabric? I'm going to go around that with my zigzag stitch. And then again, you could, if you wanted to, you could hand stitch a zigzag stitch. I could have cut the thread right there and got to this side, but I'll just go around that. I like using the zigzag stitch. Now there's a whole bunch of other stitches on this machine as well, but most machines have at least a zigzag stitch to go along with a straight stitch. Some of them are just a straight stitch, and so then you'd have to just whatever. Okay, see, so now I went around the edge of that little motif in that flower. And so see, so that where that started, that little motif there, I've done the egg, this around it. I put a button in the middle of it. And, you know, see how a lot of things are covered around it. So that dresses things up quite a bit. Like that flower went over some of my couched yarn, but still some of my couched yarn is showing. Okay, let's get on a roll here, Lizzie. Roll the dice. Oh, we need more fabric. Roll, where's, oh, there it is. So, 6, holy smokes. With 6 pieces, I can finish up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, So I can finish up now all the pieces that are this white, what you see, because that's my background. So art project right there on the back. So I'm going to just get 6 pieces of fabric. I have got some of the most awesome fabric. See that? I think I want to put, oh, look at this, how colorful this one is. And so I'm going to take a piece off of here. So that one came at a perfect time, and I needed 6 pieces. I'm going to put that on the edge. I don't want to cover the zigzag of the black there. So that's one piece. And then I think I'm going to use this same color. I love this. This is so pretty. I just love bright colors. Just bright colors just are awesome. But, you know, by using some bright colors and some that are not so bright, okay, I'm going to pin these on here so I know as I'm moving it around, I'm not going to lose where I want them. Oh, my little Aria. She used one of my fancy pins and put it in the glue. Turn it, that girl. I mean, not in glue, but we put a pin. Sometimes you have to clean out your the nozzle on the whatever, the gel glue, glitter glue, not glitter glue, it's something, stickles. And so she puts a straight pin in there, which I told her to use a straight pin, and she did. I didn't want her to use my fancy ones though, but that's okay. It's okay. I can get that off of there with alcohol. Okay, so this one's going to live right here. Oh, and that's the pin with the glue on it. I'll fix it. There's 50 in this thing, and I don't want to lose even one. I count them every once in a while, make sure I haven't lost any. Because they're so special. They were sent to me by Nancy or Barbara. I don't remember her name now. It's a miracle I even remember my name. I just had a birthday. So I turned 74. And I had a moment. I mean, I had a senior moment. I had to figure out, because I know I'm born in 49, so I had to do the math to figure out how old I was, because I wasn't sure if I turned 74, 73, 75. I knew it was around there somewhere. Okay, I'll put that right there. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I used all that piece up. And, ooh, this is bright and shiny. I'm going to use that down here on this corner. So I'm just going to cut this piece out here. Get that in that corner. That's going to live in that corner right there. Right in that corner. Oh, I got to just fold that under there. So there we go. So that's going to go right there. So that's 6 pieces yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I got 4 in there. And then, let's see. Ooh, look at this one. Ooh la la. And then I'm going to put this. I thought I put a piece right there. Maybe I didn't. Didn't I do this? Did I do that then lose it? That wouldn't be an odd thing for me. 5. I thought I'd done put one. I thought I done indeed put one right there. But maybe. Oops, don't spill my pins. Gosh. And then, so that's 5. And then I need, oh, this one, I need a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. Let's get a little bit bigger. We gotta get this show on the road here. Where did I put? Oh, I see I did have another piece of that. Oh well, I'm gonna use this one. And so I thought I did have already did around that black, but that's okay. It wasn't meant to be. Now that's 6 pieces. Just like the dice told me. The dice instructed me. Now, when I sew this, because some of this goes over the edge, and I'll trim that later. And so I'm going to just sew on the insides of these pieces. And
Don't get no fresher.
Oh, you brought me coffee. You sweet thing, you. I will enjoy. Thank you. Let's see. I find a place for it. Right there. Okay. Okay, darling. Now, I still got some bobbin thread in there. Only takes a minute to change it when I have to change it, so it's okay. So I'm going to go now, and I'm going to, okay, I'll go this way. And, oh, now I'm going to sew along the tops of them, the one most closest to the, so I know I'm not on the outside edge. I don't want to sew what I'm going to keep on. There we go, and then we'll continue on down to this piece. This is going to be very colorful. I love how the colors are. And for those of you who don't know, I do sell scraps. I've got so many scraps that I've made up scrap packages of different sizes of scraps. I use a bubble wrapped priority mail envelope, and I stuff it just as full as I can stuff it with scraps of fabric, and then I sell them for $25, which the $25 includes the shipping. And so, and there'll be a large collection of different scraps, different sizes, and stuff like that. And if you're interested, just send me an email. My email is always underneath in the description box. So just send me an email, and I take payment through PayPal. So if you're interested, now most of all of you have got gobs of scraps anyway, because you're like me, but just in case you don't, then I just so you know that I do offer them. And I've had a lot of people already order them, and they're always surprised at the amount because there's so many. I stuff them. I stuff them until I can't fit another piece in. And they'll be all different sizes. I mean, probably the biggest would be like maybe a 5 by 5, and some might be a little bit bigger than that, but most of them are like about a 5 by 5. And they're not all equal sizes either, but I try to make them most of them I try to make at least like a square or a rectangle-ish like that. I don't have a lot of scraggly scraps in there. I go through my scraps and I even them all up so that when I'm pulling scraps I have kind of even shapes. Okay, do I have all of them? I think so. Okay, now. No, up, no. There we go. Now we're getting, I've been on here an hour and 6 minutes, so that would be a good timing for a live stream. But see now what I'll do, I still have a little piece on here that's not covered, but see what I'll do here then is I will trim off the parts that are over my 10 by 10 square. Okay then. I love you too, darling. And so then I trim them, the ones that overlapped, because then you will have pieces that'll overlap. So you don't have to make them fit into the spot. They will overlap. And then here you can just then trim them. The blade is getting a little dull here. Okay, see, so now that is looking good. I think it's looking good. Now see, I've used, I won't go any further. If I, like here I have that little piece right there on the corner, and I can, but what I do with these, with these squares that I'm making, I am, when I finish them, this one here is more boring because it only has pieces. But see how I used a piece of flannel then on the back, but I put it together inside out and then flipped it around and then top stitched all the way around. And then I'll use that finished edge that I'm going to stitch all my squares together. So that little corner there won't matter. But see, before I started the ones with the pulling the cards, that's how they look. They look pretty plain. But then see, now I've got 4 of them done with that I use the cards. And look how I've got some, I just wrote words on pieces of fabric because one of the cards is to add a word. And so we didn't get that one on this one. And then Fluffy, that wasn't on the one we just did. And, but, oh, it's something vintage. We didn't pull that one either. And that's what that was. But I love how they're turning out. I just think they're beautiful. And but then I love things like this. This is just right up my alley. And so if you can think of anything else, I'm going to write the list. But if you think of anything else, just please leave them on. Put them in the suggestion, in the comments as a suggestion, and then I can add them. Because I just was thinking, that's not written yet, but a piece of felt. You could use something, a felt shape even to put on, which a felt shape also could be a texture because the because it's got texture in it, you know. And so, yes. So usually at the end of every video, I have a little something that I'm going to read. But sometimes I just feel like singing. So I'm going to sing a song. And so you can turn it off now if you rather not have a headache. Because I'm going to sing this here song. I love it. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. I'm only human. I'm just a woman. Help me believe what I could be and all that I am. Show me the stairway I have to climb. Lord, for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time. Sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today. Show me the way, one day at a time. Do you remember when you walked among men? Well, Jesus, you know, if you're looking below, it's worse now than then. Cheating and stealing, violence and crime. So for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time. Sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today. Show me the way, one day at a time. Lord, help me today. Show me the way, one day at a time. And with that, I ask God to watch over you every step you take, every move you make, keep you safe and secure, keep you healthy, happy, and humble. And I will see you on the next video. God bless. God bless. I love you. God loves you. We all love you. You need to love yourself. Wait, what documents do I have around me? Okay. God bless.